Thursday night football. The Philadelphia Eagles are on the road to take on the New York Giants. I have two player props for this game, as well as my pick on the side in this game, as well as a parlay at the end of the video. If you already knew, my name is Austin. Thank you, as always, for tuning in. Don't miss out on any of our videos by hitting that subscribe button. Drop a like, too. Let's start week 6 strong. And so far, so good so far through the season. I mean, if you look at our results, which we recap every day, pretty solid. I mean, the last 2 weeks, more or less break even. Week 4, our only negative week. We've been dominating. The Dub Club exclusive plays are up over 4.5 units. Really, if I'm going to be honest with you guys, Monday and Thursday night football have been the only two places we've really struggled this season. So let's hopefully change that in week 6 with a 2-0 day on Thursday night football. As most of you guys probably know, we did cash day 7 of the ladder challenge. You love to see that. A pretty easy victory for us on Monday night football. We've now turned our $10 into over 1,300. We need 3 more winners to hit that illustrious 10 grand. I will talk about what we're doing for day 8 at the end of this video, so stick around for that. But let's dive into our plays. I have to put one last note out there. As you guys probably know, if you've been watching the channel for a hot minute, you know on Wednesdays we always post our video where we go through every single game on Sunday and Monday Night Football, give your favorite side or total in every game. So don't skip any of them. It's a longer video, but you can skip around because every game is timestamped. So maybe you only care about 4 games or 2 or 3 games on the slate. You can check our thoughts on those. All that video is linked down below in the description and the pinned comment. But let's dive into my first player prop for the week. Let's get into it. And we're talking all about AJ Brown. I love his over 22.5 yards for his longest reception. Now, only playing this for a half unit. Again, I don't know how I've struggled on Thursday and Monday Night Football. I don't get it because Sundays we're absolutely cooking the books, but I'll stick to half unit here. Longest reception props do have some volatility here because we do need AJ Brown to have a catch of 23 yards or longer. Now, if your line's 23.5 or 24.5, I'm cool there. I honestly consider taking him for a 30+ yard catch. I think AJ Brown breaks one deep here. And let's just address the elephant in the room, and that would be AJ Brown himself in this offense, because it is widely known, and he took a lot. I mean, obviously, AJ Brown's come on to Twitter and stuff like that saying, you know what, I kind of want the ball. Not saying that exactly, but we all know that's what he's saying. And then we saw him start to get the ball a little bit in that last game against the Broncos. However, a specific play that people have referenced is this exact one where they're saying AJ Brown gave up on the play. So you see he kind of beats the defender, stops running, and then the ball gets overthrown. Now, a lot of people are like, you know what, AJ Brown, if you're going to demand the ball, but then act like that, we ain't throwing it to you. I don't think that's the case, though. I think this is going to be a game where you see AJ Brown get heavily targeted. Well, you could target maybe his receiving yards. I think he's going to get a big reception early in this one, a couple shots down the field. Here's the reason why. Is because this is a Giants defense, number one, runs the second most man coverage in the NFL. Number 2, they run the 6th most single high coverage. So there's technically normally only having one safety back there in the middle of the field kind of roaming. And so I think that will open up AJ Brown, maybe do a quick move down the sidelines. And I'm pretty sure Jalen Hurts will give him a couple looks where it's like, hey, AJ, we just need you making over the shoulder catch and he'll get the job done. We've seen him do it time and time again against the Giants as well. In 5 career games against them, when he played at least 20% of snaps, because he did have a game last year where I think it was just the starters played the first drive. When he's played 20 or more percent of snaps, he's had a 33, 37, 12, 32, and 41 yard catch for his longest catch. So again, I think he breaks one off deep. They play a lot of man, and I really think this is a spot where you see him get a couple targets deep, but we all know AJ Brown is also capable of taking a 10-yard pass 25, 30 yards. He's done that plenty of times in his career. I think last week was a really tough matchup for him, given he was being shadowed by Pat Surtain. So you saw them go the way of Devonta Smith. I think this is the week AJ Brown gets going. You could take the regular yards, but I think he gets going early with a big catch. I don't want to be sweating out a prop at 65 yards. I think he gets the 25-yard catch in the first half. AJ, we're rooting you on. My second play is going to be an under. And I know people don't like unders, but let's switch things up. Let's cash this under. Jackson Dart under 177.5 passing yards, minus 113 on DraftKings. Another half unit play. Now in week 5, we took Jackson Dart's over in completions. Made me look pretty smart. We took that for 1 unit. He had 26 completions. The line was 16.5. Man was trying to double it. I think he was really lucky, though, with how many pass attempts he had in that game, given there was a couple things that went his way for them to run a lot of plays. Number 1, they trailed a bunch. They trailed by, 2+ touchdowns for 2+ scores the second half of the game. Number 2, the Saints had a defensive touchdown. They had an 87-yard touchdown to Rashid Shaheed. So again, and the Saints are one of the most fastest running offenses. They run at a fast tempo under Kellen Moore. just like what we saw from the Eagles last year when they were under Kellen Moore. Obviously, the Eagles no longer there. Their offense has kind of taken a step back since Kellen Moore left. But again, all those things considered, Jackson Dart was slinging it around, but it's not like he was slinging it around very efficiently. I mean, sure, he had a high completion percentage, but again, through his 2 starts, 111 and 202 pass yards. Last week, like I said, 26 completions, only 202 yards. I mean, you look at his completions line this week, it's 18 and a half, and his longest completion is 18 yards. Now, you could say maybe they take a shot or two deep here, but who are they throwing it to? Jalen Hyatt? I mean, the guys that he has out there, no Malik Neighbors. Now Darius Slayton's out. And the one guy you would maybe say Jalen Hyatt because Wan'Dale Robinson doesn't really go deep too much either. So again, it's tight ends and running backs, and they should get Tyrone Tracy back. So end of the day, I don't think the Giants can get into a shootout here. That's just not how they're going to beat the Eagles. I don't think they can consistently score on their defense. We've seen QB struggle against this Eagles defense so far this season. Prescott had 188 yards in week 1. Matt Mahomes, 187. Stafford, 196. Mayfield, 289. But again, he had like 2 70-yard touchdowns to Ibuka and Bucky Irving. And Bo Nix last week, 242 yards when his team was on offense basically the whole second half because the Eagles refused to run the football. So while you could say, Austin, all 5 of those guys hit those over, let's keep in mind, this is Jackson Dart in his 3rd career start. I just named Dak Prescott, Patrick Mahomes, Stafford, Mayfield, and Bo Nix. I mean, I just don't think Jackson Dart's to the caliber of thrower they are, and he also doesn't have the weapons that any of those guys have. We've also seen Giants QBs historically struggle against the Eagles as of late. In fact, the last QB to go over this line since December 2021 was Tyrod Taylor. He had a random game where he went over. I think it's a really tough spot here. I think if the Eagles get up, unlike last week when they just were trying to throw it a ton, trying to get Jalen Hurts and company going, I think this week you see a lot more Saquon Barkley. I think he gets going. I think it's a lot. If they get the ball, it's going to be some chew clock drives. It's going to be like some 7-8 minute drives where it's just like they're converting on 3rd and 1, tush push style. I hate this matchup for Jackson Dart, and I think he'll be under pressure. So we know Jackson Dart, when he gets under pressure, he's running. Love is 177 and a half pass yards, probably played down to about 172 and a half. Let's dive into my game pick for this game before we dive into some more player props that I did look at, and we'll talk about day 8 of the ladder challenge as well. I don't really love this game from a spread standpoint as a 7.5 point spread. If I had to bet anything, though, I'd lean the Eagles minus 3.5 in the first half. I could see them easily winning this first half, 14-10 at worst. Could be 14-3 or something like that. I just think this team coming in off a loss, they're gonna bounce back. The Giants really aren't that great of a team. They will be down. I think Landon Dickerson is what I just saw was ruled out, but Saquon's in, Hurts is in, AJ Brown, pretty much the rest of the team is in. I can't trust Jackson Dart right here on a short week, 3rd career start, coming off a loss. I get it, but I don't think I'd want to put my units on trusting Jackson Dart at home here. I think this Eagles defense is still a very good unit. I just don't know who he's throwing it to be honest. And to convert on 3rd down against a very good defense is going to disguise their coverages on a short week, hard to prepare. I think he plays better. They do play each other in I think they play each other in 3 weeks. So they play twice in the span of 3 weeks. Maybe he plays better in that second matchup, but I don't think this is a good spot to get in front of the Eagles. A little pissed off. So give me the Eagles minus 3.5 in the first half. I'd rather not take the full game in case the Eagles, once again, like they just were against the Broncos, got up early, got too cute, and the Broncos were able to march back at 7.5. They could be down by 14. Next thing you know, Jackson Dart leads a drive. They score a touchdown with, 15 seconds left to make it a 7-point game. I'd rather not get there. Give me the first half spread if I had to bet anything. My final thing before we get out of here and talk about the ladder is that we need to talk about Chalkboard. You guys know I love Chalkboard. A reminder, if you sign up right now, they've changed their offer. Not only will you get a free pick, which this week it is Jalen Hurts for 1 yard, they'll also give you a dollar for dollar match on your first deposit up to $100. So let's say you sign up. Make sure you sign up using my code COS or the link at the top of the description. You go in there, you get the free pick. Cool. If you want to deposit $10, they'll give you an extra 10. You deposit 25, an extra 25, extra 50. If you deposit up to $100, they'll give you an extra 100. So they're doubling your money. Pretty cool offer. They changed it up from what they've been running. I think it's a pretty cool one. Sign up using that code COS or the link down below. Here's my Chalkboard slip. It includes a couple of the props we've already touched on in this video, but we also have a couple more here as well. Jalen Hurts, less than pass attempts. I get it. He threw 40 times or something last week. I just can't see him chucking it a ton. Jackson Dart, less than pass yards. AJ Brown, more than long reception. And another sneaky prop I did look at was Devonta Smith, less than 4.5 receptions. I'm not saying to take his under in receiving yards, but I do think it is not a high volume spot here for Devonta Smith. I think this is last week he was away from Pat Surtain, so they were targeting him heavily. We hardly ever see Devonta Smith, especially on the road, have back-to-back good games. He just historically has struggled a little bit more on the road. I just can't see him getting 5 receptions here. He could get some cheapo ones, and people are going to bring up wide receivers in the slot and stuff, whatnot against them. I'm not too worried about that. I think this is a big A.J. Brown game. I think this is an A.J. Brown gets like a 40% target share. And I think that's what they do and roll with this one. Jalen Hurts doesn't throw it a ton, maybe throws in the 22 to 25 times. A lot of those going towards A.J. Brown. I think if Devonta Smith is to get 5 receptions, it's probably because he was very efficient and caught all 5 of his targets, which I think is probably the max he gets. So I do like this one. $20 on this puppy turns into 142. Finally, before we get on out of here, I will talk about the ladder challenge. Let's talk about it. You can see on the screen my current ladder plan, and I'll announce this in a separate, YouTube short or on Instagram and stuff. We're going to skip Thursday night. I'll talk about why in a second. My current plan is day 8 to be Sunday Night Football. Day 9 to be Monday Night Football, where we have 2 games. And then day 10, we'd go to NFL Week 7 Sunday. But like I said, take it one day at a time. And day 8 will be posted Sunday morning. It will be in our Dub Club early. So again, you could join that VIP. I think it's $10 for a first month if you click that link in the description. So get on in there, get all the plays. We'll have some exclusive plays coming this upcoming weekend. Now, why am I skipping Thursday night? Let's first address that. Well, number one, I just don't like Thursday night games. There's a lot of heightened, number one, heightened injury risk. Number 2, you just get a lot more variance. I mean, guys might be coming in a little bit bruised up. You're like, you know what? We're going to use some of the backups a little bit more here. And that could certainly be the case. And so I normally like to avoid them. Now, yes, you'll get some good Thursday night games like last week against the 49ers and Rams. I get it. A great game. But there's also just as many great games as there are terrible games where you're like, geez, these offenses stink, or one offense is just terrible. I don't really trust Jackson Dart in that offense. Who would like in my back and some other tight ends? Count me out there. And then for the Eagles, like I said, if they got up in this game, wouldn't be shocked if we're running into a bunch with Saquon, or if Jackson Dart throws a pick 6 and that comes into question. I'd rather just not force it. Instead, I'll go to day 8, Sunday Night Football. Now, Austin, why aren't we using the full Sunday slate? Well, there's good reason behind that. I actually have a wedding. I'm a groomsman for my good friend Matt. So normally I post the ladder on Fridays, but I actually have to be at the wedding venue and stuff on Friday. So I'll get out all my props and parlays on Friday, but I'll wait to cook up the ladder until Sunday morning, which is again why I will send it out then. And you could do one in the earlier games, but we got a Lions and Chiefs game on Sunday Night Football that I feel really good about. I did just see Amon-Ra St. Brown's did not practice today with a wrist injury. I'm not too worried there, but like you got St. Brown, you got obviously Gibbs. I don't know if you want to go Montgomery, Laporta. You also have, on the Chiefs side, Worthy with Kelsey. Don't know if we'd go with the running backs. A lot of different options. Pat Mahomes, pass yards, and stuff like that. So I will stay tuned for that. That game has a 52.5 total. So I really feel like that's the good spot to be. Monday night, we have 2 games. And like I said, if we can get through those 2, go to day 10, an illustrious week 7, full slate of games on Sunday. We'll try to do that. But again, take it one day at a time. We will not do it on Thursday. I'll talk about that in a YouTube short as well. But again, you can get it early Sunday a.m. I don't know what time in the morning, but you get it early, about an hour or 2 early. Join the Dub Club, $10 for your first month. That link is down below. Again, I'm done yapping. Thanks again for tuning in. Appreciate you as always. If you want to join that Dub Club, the links are down below. Some VIP parlays and props upcoming for Sunday slate, as well as NBA is less than 2 weeks away, and we're going to probably have daily props and parlays exclusive there. So I don't have a ton of exclusive plays in the Dub Club right now with the NFL because it's only on 3 days a week. Just be ready. When the NBA starts, we'll have a lot more. So again, join for Chalkboard, sign up with that code COS. All the stuff's down below. I'm done yapping. 13 minutes. That's long enough. I'll see you guys back again in the next one. It's Austin. I'm signing out. See you later. Peace.